Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer Online action. As you can see from this wonderful Doomwheel, I have taken the Skaven. We are going to be playing up against a Dark Elves opponent, so definitely in for a very bloody fight. Let's go ahead and take a look at the army compositions. My forces are going to be led by a Warlord up on a Bonebreaker. He's an excellent combatant in this guise. Doesn't have amazing combat stats, but very good armor-piercing damage. 70 armor is decent as well. 60 movement speed. Lots of stuff to like there. Got 2 units of Rat Ogres to back him up, as well as the unit of Poison Wind Globadiers. I'm a big fan of these guys in any matchup where you can expect to be going up against large targets, which is pretty much every matchup. They've got anti-large armor-piercing missiles and can do a ton of burst damage to large targets. We've got the front line is a mix of Plague Monks and Death Runners. So the reason you combine these guys together, even against a potentially very heavily armored faction, Dark Elves have Hargoneth Executioners, they have Blackheart Corsairs. If you stack the Plague Monks with the Death Runners, you get the Weeping Poison from the Death Runners, so they get minus 50% armor, meaning the Plague Monks will trade much more effectively. The front line is just some meat shields. We've got some Skaven Slave Spears, 4 units, or looks like actually only 3 units, a unit of Clan Rat Spears on each flank, and of course 2 Doomwheels. So the Doomwheel is a really excellent unit for the cost. It's 1300, and you get a lot for what you pay for. It's got Terror, Fear and Terror, of course, and at only 1300, it's one of the cheaper terror-causing units in the game. It's got an armor-piercing missile attack, which fires off randomly. You can't really control it, but it does do armor-piercing damage, and, will zap nearby targets. Has heavy armor-piercing anti-infantry weapon strength, 100 armor, decent speed at 72. The combat stats are mostly irrelevant. They are decent, though, considering it is a chariot. But yeah, it's a really good unit overall. Has lots of great utility, does great armor-piercing damage, and yeah, we'll see how it can do here. For the Dark Elves, you can see he's got Bleak Swords here in the center. He's got these 2 kind of flanking contingents of Dread Spears with Blackheart Corsairs in the front, and a unit of Shades here in the rear. Another contingent of Shades over here, 2 units, as well as 2 units of Cold One Knights. His army is going to be led by Malekith. Let's look at his spell loadout real quick. We've got Blade Wind, Chill Wind, Power of Darkness, so definitely looking to bust up some blobs with the Blade Wind potentially, but let's go ahead and kick things into full gear. You can see I've already charged this Doomwheel in onto this flank. It's going to be doing some really nice armor-piercing damage to those Blackheart Corsairs, who of course have 80 armor. In the mainline fight, the Skaven Slave Meat Shields are going to absorb things nicely here and allow the second line of, Plague Monks and Death Runners to get in here. You can see the Death Runners moving in now, and Bleak Swords are a pretty low tier unit. They're going to get shredded really fast by all these Plague Monks and Death Runners. We brought the Bonebreaker in here as well just to do some additional damage, but you can see here these Blackheart Corsairs are going to come in here on these Plague Monks, and it's going to be a pretty atrocious trade overall. Over here, my opponent did get his Cold One Knights onto my Doomwheel, which, it's definitely a unit that the Doomwheel needs to watch out for. The armor-piercing anti-large can do a lot of damage potentially, but I'm going to bring up this unit of Rat Ogres in support. We've also got these Poison Wind Globadiers on station here, but I'm not going to want to fire into this fight too much here with the Rat Ogres in there now. We'll mostly just be doing friendly fire. I did fail to mention here I've got a Plague Priest. His spell loadout is, he's got Wither for that nice armor debuff. Of course, you guys know I'm a big fan of my armor debuffs. And Pestilent Birth for summoning up some Plague Monks. We've also got, of course, the Lore attribute for that minus Vigor to all opponents every time we cast. You can see now, though, the Wither being dropped here, so the Plague Monks will trade a bit more effectively there, with these Blackheart Corsairs being only down to 50 armor. The 0 armor of the Bleak Swords and the Dread Spears means they're going to be carved up in a big hurry. You can see we're already breaking through the center. These 2 units of Bleak Swords just not able to hold out with their leadership. Going to collapse here. This unit of Clan Rat Spears holding off this Blackheart Corsair here on the flank nicely, and meanwhile this other Doomwheel is just rampaging around on the flanks. My opponent's not able to catch it with these infantry here, so he is going to wisely pull around these Cold One Knights and try and get on it over here. But over on this side, we were able to break up this unit of Cold One Knights with the help of the Rat Ogres. And we're now going to be turning around onto this fight, which we are losing this infantry fight right here. And we definitely need to get on these Shades as quickly as possible as well. They're doing some really nice armor-piercing missile damage. So Malekith has dropped in here, and this is a really bad place for him. You can see those glass globs coming in here, and just to watch the damage they're able to do against Malekith. And as he comes in here and tries to fight, they didn't score too many hits there, but even with how little hits they did score, they still did quite a bit of damage. Malekith is pretty hell-bent on getting onto this Plague Priest, and understandably so. The Plague Priest is a very powerful caster. The Terror was able to rout off a few of my units here, giving him a slight break here in the center, but we're going to bring the Bonebreaker back around, and the Bonebreaker is a very good combatant. And with the Poison Wind Globadiers here, you can see they've already done about 25% HP and doing a ton of burst damage. That Warlord comes in there with a big old slam, does a nice chunk as well, and Malekith's in a really bad situation now. He needs to get out of here as soon as possible. However, we're going to bring the Rat Ogres to continue in pursuit here, and there's no way Malekith's getting out of this situation. We're going to get these Plague Monks, Death Runners, which are a very good counter to the Black Ark Corsairs. They're also going to get rear charged by a Doomwheels, so it's going to be a very nice time. You can see that zap attack coming off there, and they're just charging through, getting some nice lightning action going. You can see Malekith in a matter of about a minute, less than a minute probably, completely taken off the board. I mean, just got absolutely destroyed between the Bonebreaker and those Poison Wind Globadiers. You have got to respect those Globadiers. I've had a few battles against the Skaven as like the Lizardmen and so on, where these Globadiers just burst down. They can burst down your lord in a matter of seconds, so you really have to respect these guys and try and allocate resources to shut them down as quickly as possible, especially if you have a large target lord like Malekith. You can see here the Shades continuing to just get run over and zapped by the Doomwheel here. It's a pretty rough time for them. Plague Monks just holding out here in the center, not really designed to fight Cold One Knights, but they'll do okay. They've got decent combat stats, and at this point it's mostly just a mop-up operation. You can see we're very far ahead on the balance of power. And this unit of Skaven Slave Spears being chased down by Black Ark Corsairs, but it is going to allow them to be caught here by this Doomwheel, which they're not going to be big fans of this. The Terror is going to kick in, and the zapping and the rear charge and everything is going to rout these guys off pretty quickly. You can see army losses starting to mount here as a lot of the forces are being Terror routed and just not able to hold their leadership together. Malekith's trying to come back here, but yeah, it's going to be all she wrote for the Dark Elves. You can see some nice Globadiers coming at the end there, taking down a few of those Cold One Knights. So, very fun battle. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that. I sure enjoyed playing it. The Dark Elves are very good, but the Skaven have some interesting tools. For a infantry-heavy faction, they have some tools that some of the other infantry-heavy factions don't have. Of course, the Dwarves don't have any large units to speak of, and the Norskins, they have Skin Wolves, which are very good, comparable to Rat Ogres, probably better in some aspects. They don't have the heavy armor piercing, but they don't have anti-large. But the Doomwheels are excellent tools. You can see each of them picking up Chevron, getting some really nice work done on those Cold One Knights, and even though, the Cold One Knights you'd think are a unit that are somewhat designed to beat the Doomwheel still has armor-piercing attacks, so it can dish it back somewhat to the Cold One Knights, and with the support of the Rat Ogres, of course, it's a very decisively won. You can see those Globadiers racking up 3 XP chevrons from their work they were able to do on Malekith and others. I mean, they bursted down Malekith in a huge hurry. The Warlord was barely touched in that duel because of those Globadiers. The Death Runners as well, 111 and 92 kills against Dark Elves is always a good thing to see. The Plague Monks didn't do as well, but they did alright there in the center. The Clan Rats and Skaven Slaves mostly just died in droves, which is what they're designed to do, so all good there. Plague Priest as well, dropping those Withers, was pretty clutch. He was also a nice bait unit to bring Malekith down into that fight. So, well played to my opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I'm keeping it coming with more every single day, so stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time.